What's going on, everyone? Lauren Sisler here with AL.com, our SEC insider Matt Zenitz. Week 11 of the college football season. First weekend in November. Alabama, LSU, 1 versus 2. We here. Are you ready? Let's go. I know everybody's fired up about it, but the big storyline coming into this week, and it's really been the storyline the past couple of weeks since the Tennessee game when Tua Tagovailoa went out with the injury. Didn't get to play the second half, obviously had to sit out the Arkansas game, has rested during the bye week. He had surgery on that ankle, the other ankle that he hurt last year, not that one, had the tightrope surgery. And so I think the big question is, what percentage of health is Tua at this point? And is he going to be ready to play against LSU? I think everybody wants to know. We've seen him at practice 3 days thus far since returning to practice. Your assessment, overall thoughts, and what you've gathered from some information that you know about the quarterback and his chances of being ready to go against LSU.
So I think it's fair to say that Tua made a very good recovery last year from the high ankle sprain and then the tightrope surgery, where he was ready to play in that Oklahoma game 27 days after getting that procedure done, and went out there against Oklahoma 27 days after getting that surgery done and was 24 of 27, threw for 320 yards, 4 touchdowns. Everything I've heard is that the recovery has gone even better this time around, and that he's at a better point right now than where he was at the same time last year at this point of the process, coming off of the high ankle sprain against Georgia. So from everything that I've heard, the full expectation at Alabama is that he's going to be ready to go for this game. And to go along with that, not only do they expect him to be ready to go, barring some unforeseen setback, but there's a lot of optimism and confidence that he's going to look a lot healthier and less limited than what the casual observer, the casual fan is probably expecting.
So with that being said, I think the other discussion is, well, is Alabama going to have to change up their scheme? Are they going to have to change things up on offense? What's going to happen? Are they going to have to protect him? How does this all change, obviously, the overall dynamic on offense? So what you're basically saying is that's not going to be nearly as big of an issue as maybe some us on the outside think it is.
Yeah, what I'm saying is Alabama feels good right now, just based on the progress that he's made with his rehab and recovery. And I mean, my honest expectation going into this, if you remember from last year, and we've talked about this before, Tua was banged up when they played LSU last year, so it was a different injury. He was dealing with the knee issue last year during the course of the middle to latter part of the regular season. Was not 100% when they played LSU, but at the same time was still healthy enough that he was able to go out there against what was probably an even better LSU defense last year, and was able to throw for 295 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and Alabama obviously wins that game. But at the same time, you saw him maybe approach things less aggressively as a runner, and Alabama in that game tried to utilize him a little bit less to put him in a lesser position to put pressure on that knee and potentially get hurt. And I think it'll be the same thing this time around, where you'll probably see less of Tua running and scrambling, but once again, my expectation going into this is that it may look similar to that game last year against LSU in terms of a percent and just what he looks like in terms of his overall health, even though it's obviously a different injury.
All right, thanks so much. We appreciate the insight. As always, follow him on Twitter, mzenitz. And for all your Alabama Crimson Tide updates, as we get you ready for the Alabama-LSU game, you can visit us on AL.com.